think that prices will eventually go down, and how do you think that these tariffs will affect?
It's a great question. So actually, here's the good news. Prices are going to go down in the short term because the price of oil is plummeting right now, which is great, which means that you guys will pay less at the pump. Oil went from $70 to now $53 a barrel in the last couple of days, which is amazing. You guys will see that very soon. But I don't want to lie to people. Prices might go up in certain sectors. And I don't love that. I think long term they will go down. And just so everyone's clear, you guys are about to get no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security. You guys are going to get a massive tax cut this year, which I think will make the tariffs go over a little bit easier.
And I've also heard I've heard things on social media saying that these tariffs will actually not bring higher quality jobs into the U.S. And so, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I disagree. There's a lot of guessing, so I'm not going to spend my time here guessing because we are embarking on the largest tariff experiment of the modern economic order. I think it's going to work, and if it doesn't work, I know President Trump will pivot out of it. But more importantly, people voted for it, and I think there's something even more disturbing when people say they're going to do something and they don't do it. People said, Trump, please bring back manufacturing. Please bring up our wages. And you got to give him enormous credit for the courage to do that, even when the market goes down, even when people are going after him. I think that's something that is definitely worthy of notice, for sure. Thank you very much.
What's up, Charlie? I'm a huge fan. One thing that I haven't seen you speak on yet is your opinion on people sitting or kneeling for the national anthem and how someone who disagrees with that should approach saying something to them, or if they should say something to them.
Well, yeah, people have a right to do that, and you should tell them to stop and to have some respect for the flag. I mean, I believe that when Colin Kaepernick did.
I agree with you as well. I was just wondering.
Is that still a thing? Do people still kneel during the national anthem?
Yes. I just had 2 instances of it this past week, and I went up to them and asked them why, and they proceeded to say they have no actual reason. They just wanted to be disrespectful. So I was wondering how I could fix that personally, if I have a conversation, or how should I approach that?
I mean, yeah, tell them to, if you hate this country so much, leave. And you can't even stand for our national anthem. I think it's repulsive and an insult to every veteran that served this nation and bled and died for our country. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you sign
yeah,
my
I'll sign it. Yep. Disagreements, guys, can work their way up.
How you doing, Mr. Sir? So I agree with, I love you, by the way. So I agree with everything that you speak about and that you talk about, except one thing. So I drove 6.5 hours to debate this one thing and to settle it. So Michael Jordan is not the GOAT, it's LeBron James. LeBron James? Yeah. Why do you think Michael Jordan's the GOAT?
I mean, man, it's so self-evident.
Okay, here you go. So earlier you were talking about how there's more whites back in the day, right? So it would be easier for Michael Jordan to play in the league against more whites.
That wasn't in the 1990s.
Okay, but
the league was fully and well integrated by the 1990s.
Who was the Hall of Famers that he played against in the finals?
Isaiah Thomas, Magic Johnson,
okay,
Larry Bird,
okay.
Hakeem Olajuwon,
okay,
Charles Barkley.
Okay, so it's like
Pistol,
no, listen.
Not Pistol Pete, but John Stockton.
Okay, no, but listen. It's like a Domino's pizza, right? So if
I've met you before.
No, you haven't met me. This is the first time we've met.
I think you were at Missouri State University.
Oh, you're lying. Okay, but no,
am I right?
No, this is like a Domino's pizza.
No, I'm right.
You are not.
You were at Missouri State University.
You want to shoot for it, 1-on-1? We'll shoot for it.
Yeah. No, you asked about the pizza.
Ball don't lie. No, but for real, it's like a Domino's pizza. Do you want a pizza with good crust, or do you want a pizza with good crust, good pizza sauce, good cheese? That's what LeBron James is. He's got the whole package. What Michael Jordan? What can he do? What can he do? He can score. Okay, I don't agree with.
Do you know
LeBron.
there was only one player ever to win the Finals MVP, the regular season MVP, playoff MVP, scoring champion, and defensive player of the year, and that is Michael Jordan, 6-0 in the finals. By the way, do you know that LeBron James is 0 for 14 in game-winning shots in the finals or in playoffs?
Hey.
And Michael Jordan, yeah, Michael Jordan had the most legendary.
Listen, there's one thing that my girlfriend taught me. Longevity is the king. I might not play that role, but that's what she said, and I agree with that. So LeBron James is way outplayed Michael. He played baseball. What, is he a baseball player or a basketball player? Come on.
He was so good that he won 3 titles, played a little baseball, came back and won 3 more. LeBron James has lost more finals than he has won. And wait, how many finals did Michael Jordan lose?
He didn't lose any.
Yeah, that's right. Wait, when you go into inner city Chicago or Philadelphia, are they wearing Jordans or LeBrons?
Yeah, no, they're wearing LeBrons.
Oh, they're wearing LeBrons?
Yeah, I wore LeBrons in state
Really?
championship.
What do
yeah.
they look like? Looks like you're wearing Nikes to me.
No, in the
so-
state championship, I rep some LeBrons.
Oh, yeah, the LeBrons? Yeah, sure. If the NBA, is it more popular today in 2025 or back in the 90s?
It's fallen off, but I think it's because
Why? Who's the face of the NBA?
Caitlin Clark.
Oh, Caitlin Clark, yeah. There is no argument. MJ is the GOAT. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Can you sign my hat?
You were from Missouri, though.
Yeah, you got it.
I got a good memory, right? Thank you, man.
I was gonna talk to you about, like, I'm a high school senior. I go to the high school, like, right over there down the street. I was gonna ask you, what do you think I should do to prepare going into college?
A great question. Thank you for that. Why do you want to go to college?
I feel like, well, my parents are kind of making me, but at the same time,
Bad answer. Why do you? You're your own sovereign being with your own agency. Why do you want to go to college?
I feel like it'll just be a good start for me, and in the career choices that I want, because
Fair enough. What are they?
so right now I'm kind of undecided in liberal arts and sciences, so I don't know exactly what I want to do. But you don't. But
Just lock in. You just
Thank
ignore
you.
it.
Yeah, my bad. So I kind of want to see what I'm going to do, because you don't have to declare until your sophomore or junior year at most schools. So
So I want you to think deeply about whether you should go to college or not. I didn't go to college, and worked out fine for me. We have way too many people going to college in this country, if I may speak so, candidly. In preparation, learn as much as you can. I wish when I was 15, 16, or 17, I spent even more time reading books, trying to dive deep into big ideas. You can take Hillsdale online courses at charlieforhillsdale.com. That's charlieforhillsdale.com. You guys can take them free of charge. Make learning a top priority.
So I was also going to ask, like, what do you have to say to all the students out here that are here supporting you, that are in college right now, that have, like, a bunch of student loans? What are you going to say to them?
I mean, yeah, look, some of them are kind of trapped. I'll say try to graduate as quickly as you can, and then try to use what you have and your experiences here. At best, college can be a great connective tool to find people in your industry. So at the very least, if you're here, find people that are able to connect, and you're able to find internships or better better paying job because of it.
Has your stance changed on college?
No.
No, it hasn't. It's always been this way?
I have a book called The College Scam. I think I saw it right here. Someone had it over here. Right there. There's the book, The College Scam. Yeah.
So why do you think college is a scam?
Well, okay, happy to explain that. The national graduation rate, 41% of people that go to college do not graduate. And then half of the people in this audience that are in college, if they get a job, will end up getting a job that doesn't require a college degree, basically rendering their experience here completely useless.
I wouldn't say it's completely useless. Like, for example, I'll probably get a lot of hate for this, but my mom, she has an English degree, and she doesn't really do stuff related to English. She's the director of digital analytics at State Farm, and what she kind of does is she just, like, analyzes the data trends and kind of makes decisions from there. And she uses her English degree, like, every day to write emails to help her do all this kind of stuff with good language. Hey.
No, it's fine. It's good. I mean, look, let me just say one other thing. And you're a high schooler. Thank you for coming up here. You deserve credit for that. It's not easy. Artificial intelligence is going to displace 99% of all the jobs you're getting degrees for. Most of the reasons why you're in school, your jobs will not exist. We're going to have to retrain the entire country to use AI and to find other jobs. And writing emails, Grok can do that. ChatGPT can do that pretty well.
That didn't work so well for me. I don't think that would work well for me if I decided that one day I wanted to use ChatGPT on, like, one of my AP comparative government essays or something.
Well, it actually works for a lot of people in this audience. I mean, you'd be surprised, right, guys? I'm not even endorsing it. I'm saying college has become a scam where it's like, who can use AI the quickest and the best? And, like, you're not actually learning the way you used to. And by the way, the point also is that when you graduate, the jobs will not exist because they're going to have artificial intelligence doing these jobs for you.
I would argue that they aren't going to have artificial intelligence, and that's actually kind of a threat, because what if
it already exists? I'm not trying to, like, big time you, but, like, millions of people are going to lose their jobs in the next year.
So heart surgeons are going to lose their jobs
Eventually.
to AI?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's not. You can laugh. Do you know that? So, for example, in healthcare, there's an entire profession of cardiologists, for example, that read heart scans. They're going completely out of it. AI does it quicker and more accurately, and they do it in seconds. It's facts, right? In fact, people are detecting heart arrhythmias, cardiac blockages, places they need to have stents in seconds, where it otherwise would take weeks to get a cardiologist to look at it.
Where's your evidence for this?
I mean, look, man, it's pretty where's my evidence?
Yeah.
I mean, anyone around you will tell you it's true. I mean, you could just look it up on any multitude of examples.
What about a credible example?
Type into any search engine of your choice, okay, human, and you will see that all across the country they're using AI, and they literally have no use anymore for people to read scans. They double check the work sometimes, but at like a 99% veracity it works. Finally, other paralegals. Paralegals are like a thing of the past. Paralegals used to be people that would write up briefs. ChatGPT can read a 3,000-page legal brief in 30 seconds and summarize it more crisply and better in better language than a human being can.
I'm pretty sure that's not all paralegals do, though.
Paralegals basically read and write, and ChatGPT does that better than a human being and quicker and more accurately. I'm not here to debate it with you. It's a fact. AI's taken over the world, and I don't think people are prepared for that. Thank you very much.
Okay, can I get a hat?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
How's it going, Charles? How you doing? I've got a question for you on data science. You told a senior student earlier in high school that AI is going to take over millions of jobs in the coming future here.
It already
even
is,
this year. Some of them, yeah. But there is still critical fields that definitely won't have AI taking over anytime soon. Blue collar, zero threat for the most part. I mean,
Now,
look at the
robotics is growing way quicker than you realize.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also a master's in data science, but robotics isn't growing that fast. But
I've seen stuff, man. I don't
I've
know.
also, believe me, I've seen stuff probably more than you have.
Well, so
but,
how many humans are working? Well, that's funny. How many humans are working in the Tesla plants?
I mean, I don't know.
They're
I
fully
don't
robotic,
go
so-
and count them, but
No, but they're fully
I mean,
robotic.
there's been work lines that have been industrialized for years. I mean, look at Ford plants. How many people are working there? So I feel like
More than
there's
Tesla,
still
but yeah.
Okay. Well, there's still plenty of labor to be around. The jobs that are going to be cut are sort of like middle management jobs and also email sending jobs. Anything that's already been done with ChatGPT and LLMs, the impact has already been had. The tools that'll come, I mean, you said earlier with like doctors, that's a really poor example because it's more of a force multiplier than it is something that'll take jobs. It's assisting people in getting readings, but there does still need to be a doctor there in the event that a decision needs to be made. So,
Yes, but I mean, just to use the example, a level down is someone who looks at scans. They're not necessary anymore, right?
I mean, you still need to have someone to look at
course.
the
I mean,
results.
again,
you're not looking at scans, but you're looking at results now.
Not every job will be taken, but
Well,
like I said,
not even that many is the
yeah,
thing.
I mean,
Like,
I completely
you
disagree.
got to pare down the amount of jobs you think
Okay.
are going to be taken for sure.
Well,
But,
so how many people do you think are in mid-level management in this country?
I mean, a fair amount.
Yeah, it's like 70% of all the jobs.
I wouldn't say so.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, for example, let's
You
just take
probably get some stat, but
let's just take Brown University. I happen to know this because I was just doing a study on it. 4,000 employees, 1,000 are professors, 3,300 are mid-level management.
okay.
That's I mean, across the board. And so, yeah, I mean, look, you might be right, you might not. I think AI is way more powerful than we give it credit for. I think it's advancing at a rate that is going to displace
Diminished returns. Once you get to the final 10%, the last 10% is 90% of the effort.
I actually hope you're right.
I am right. I'm telling you, man. Like, I've done the research. I've worked in the field.
Okay, yeah, I mean, do you think AI will get to a place of singularity?
Absolutely not. And even if
Oh,
it does, it doesn't matter. I mean, are you familiar with set theory?
No.
Okay, so set theory is basically like there's a Venn diagram, right? So there's a Venn diagram of human intelligence. And AI is only capable of learning everything that humans already know. It needs our data to be able to make insights.
So
right?
that's, I mean, again, so explain to me though, but once AI can do physics itself,
It can. Simulations.
I know, but it can get beyond human comprehension of physics.
I don't believe so, no. Because
well-
it can only do things that we understand.
Again, you
It-
might be right. People like Elon and Altman disagree with you. So
Okay. Well, I mean, they also have a financial interest to
no,
say
again,
so.
again,
right?
I hope
So-
you're right. I hope you end up.
Right. So we want more jobs to stay.
No, I
I'm
know,
telling
but-
you. I'm telling you that it'd probably be in the best interest not to sow fear into coming generations that AI.
No,
is
it's
this
not
big,
okay.
scary
But
thing,
but the vast majority of people that are going to college are studying things that will be replaced. Again, the young man who came up here, what did he say? Well, my mom sends emails at State Farm.
Okay, I'd probably say
Yeah.
that's a bad
I mean, that
example in
literally-
his regard.
I mean,
But,
but
for
there's-
him, you don't know what did he say he was going to go to college for?
He said liberal arts.
Okay, well,
That's yeah.
okay, well, art isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Image generators are kind of iffy.
That's
so.
interesting. I don't know if I agree. Okay,
You
thank
think
you.
they're good?
I think they're fast.
Are you doing a Turning Point merch with AI now?
Not yet.
Okay. You gonna get there?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Can I get a hat for
Smart,
the people
yeah,
behind me?
yeah, smart commentary. Thank you, man. I really hope you're right.
All right. Oh, sorry. I was chatting with that devil fella earlier because I like to hear people out, even if I think they're ghoulish and I think they're up to no good. That's part of why I'm here. But he was telling me that he's actually going to put a curse for the plague on every single person here who is not pure of heart. And I don't know. I just want to let you know, if I was hosting some kind of event and I was spreading
That's okay. The
disease-
name of
Oh,
Jesus
sorry.
is superior to all the
Okay.
fake pagan nonsense of our time. Are you okay? He's coughing up
That's
blood.
blood. I don't feel so good, Charlie Kirk.
Can we get him some medical attention or something? Is it like a shtick or something? Man, I'll tell you what. Do not play games with paganism or unclean spirits. You could joke around about it with the occult or Wiccan boards. I'll tell you what, guys. Jesus is king, and Christ is king, and there is an unknown, unseen demonic realm. Do not play games with that stuff, everybody. It is real. It has power. Not the same power as the blood of Jesus, but man, that is no joke. Yes, Jesus. That's right. Yes, sir.
So my question is about DEI, and hang on.
It's fine. Let him ask the question.
So in America, everyone talks about systematic racism, right? And for me, I feel like DEI is a form of systematic racism because you're hiring people based off their color, their race, their gender, and I'm going to education, and I see a lot of stuff about DEI. And I was just curious, what your thoughts do you think DEI is a form of systematic racism?
Systemic, yes.
Yeah, systemic, yeah.
For sure, it is. And I'm happy to discuss it with someone who supports DEI later. But we should not hire people based on the color of their skin. We should hire them based on excellence and how good they are at their job.
Yeah. It's just very frustrating because I think that a lot of people think of systematic racism as systemic racism as, it's people who of color are oppressed, but I don't agree with that. I think that people need to be hired based off their merit, and it's just very frustrating to see that.
I totally agree. You as a white person should not be discriminated against just because of the color of your skin.
Yeah, and I see even because I'm going to special ed, and there's not it's a female dominant role, but being a male, they asked me, oh, you're a male and you're going to special ed, we want to hire you. But it's well, what about the skills I have or the experience I have of working with kids with special needs? And it gets very frustrating.
For sure. God bless you, man. Happy to sign your hat. Thanks for being here. Thank you. Next question. All right, we got a Michigan shirt here. We don't like this guy. He's got Jordan, so I like him. So,
How you doing, Charlie? I'm Xander. I am a high schooler in the area, and I was assigned a project to prove how Christianity is the only true religion, and I'd like to hear your standpoint on that.
Yeah, first, the Bible is the most verified, authenticated historical document in history. It is self-evident that I believe there is a God outside of our atheistic friend. And we see in more ways than one how Jesus Christ liberates us from our sins. And the promise of Christianity is different than any other world religion. Every other world religion is about you trying to go closer to God. Christianity is God coming closer to you.
Okay, I understand. Can I have a hat, please?
Great, yeah. Good question.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kirk. First off, thank you for coming to Illinois State. I had a couple questions in the spirit of being at Illinois State, a school known for its education. You already touched on some things about the role of college moving forward in regards to AI, STEM. What about the role of an educator, someone who, like myself, who's trying to teach secondary education in high school?
Great question. I will do this. I have a very strong opinion of what education is.
Yep.
Are you studying to become a teacher?
History education teacher.
Awesome, good for you. Why don't you tell me what education is in its ideal and practice?
So I think that's two things. A little bit closer? Yeah, so I think that's two things. In regards to traditional college, what it's normally been is the burden of proof. Whether you're taking a math class or you're taking a history class, it's all about providing evidence to support an answer, right? Identifying the difference between speculation and evidence. So there's the issue of burden of proof, which, again, that might change with AI and new technologies. In regards to a high school student, I myself, as a history teacher, the first question that I should ask myself is, am I someone worth learning from? I think we already have this pipeline of high school to college back to high school, And some really competent teachers are probably capable of teaching students with that amount of experience. I don't think that it's common, probably for everyone. And I enjoy having life experience outside of that. Outside of that, the role of educators to develop competent and capable students.
Great. I don't disagree with that. I think there's another thing to that. Do you think educators should be more like carpenters, meaning they're making students into something, or more like gardeners, letting kids grow?
The role of an apprentice, right?
So not even, just metaphorically. Like, do you think that it's your job to turn a student into a specific thing, or to let kids grow into what they naturally are?
The latter.
Grow into what they naturally are.
The latter, and
yeah.
also support that growth where it can be supported.
Do you think it's your role as a teacher to point them towards a certain conclusion?
No, but I think it's my job to help them identify, burden of proof, right?
Yeah.
Identify the difference
Sure.
between.
That's where we disagree. I think, of course, it's the role of a teacher to point towards something.
Okay.
And that's fine. We're just going to disagree. We believe, as conservatives generally, that you have three truth claims: the good, the true, and the beautiful.
Yeah.
And you should try to point a child towards those things. You should try to read things that enrich and nourish their soul and their being towards an appreciation of the elevated things.
Yeah.
It's a difficult concept because none of that is probably talked about here at Illinois State, right? It's much more technical and mechanistic, and a German view of education.
Exactly. It's normal, named after the German.
Yeah, exactly. Where we have a classical view of education, much more Athenian in nature.
Yeah.
Where we want
Alexander the Great to Aristotle, Aristotle to Plato. That apprentice-student
Well, actually, it was
relationship.
Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, but that's fine.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's okay. Yeah. That's,
Look, I've already taken a couple L's this.
I'm
this
sorry.
week, so-
Jeez, what happened?
Sparring.
Oh,
Just-
good
yeah,
for you.
spar the heavyweight, but
Awesome, good. And that's fine. It's not a matter of disagreement. We think the teacher should challenge and elevate the student towards the good, and that a teacher should be unafraid to tell a student you're totally wrong,
Yeah, 100%.
and then and to try to get them to naturally get towards an end point or a certain conclusion. If, for example, if a teacher has, if they come to the conclusion, well, if my students believe whatever they want to believe at the end of this, it is what it is. We don't
There's
think
a lot of flaws in that.
We
Yeah.
don't think the teacher's done their job.
100%.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
So-
thank you very much.
Thanks, man. Have a great day.
All right, so I appreciate you signing that for me. So, Charlie,
Can't
you don't
stand
know who
when they
I am.
interrupt, yes.
You don't know who I am, but you do know who I am. So I want you to answer me this. How is it that coming up in Chicago, East Garfield, and coming up in Cabrini Green, can you tell me how is it that coming from a city like that and getting to a place where we came from a single-parent home to a no-parent home, can you tell me how is it that I was able to get married, which in June I'll be married 24 years. I have a 23-year-old son and a 21-year-old son. Got through school, got a degree, went back and got another one. Can you explain to me how systemic racism kept me from doing that?
It doesn't. Systemic racism didn't, because every person can make good decisions and flourish in this country regardless of the color of their skin.
So then how is it that somebody like me did it though? I mean, wait, I'm black. I'm coming up in a oppressed era, so can you tell me how I was able to achieve that?
You tell me.
Well, from what I'm being told, it's because I was lucky.
It was probably hard work, good decisions, maybe a pastor or a mentor that, gave you good guidance.
So then why is it so hard for everybody else to look like me to understand that?
You ask them.
Trying to. By the way, shout out to Bloomington, Illinois. I'm the guy that actually went viral for destroying CRT at the school board
I
meeting.
love it. Well
So
done,
nice
man.
to meet you. Hopefully I get to
Thank
shake
you.
your hand.
Thank you.
Before I start, my dad's your biggest fan. I was wondering if I could get a signed hat for him. And then also, Democratic primaries. I'm a big sports guy, so I'm excited for it this year because Stephen A. Smith's probably gonna be running. And I like.
Won't start for a couple years, but yes.
No, I know. But out of all the people you can see running, like AOC, Newsom, even J.B. Pritzker, who would you pick to, win the primaries?
I would love J.B. Pritzker to be the nominee. I'll tell you what.
Well, I would be a big fan of J.B. Pritzker going because I want to see Stephen A. Smith just make fun of him the whole time, kind of like Vivek Ramaswamy saying to Chris Christie, "Oh, you graduated from Golden State Corral," or whatever he said. But I do think, though, if Stephen A. Smith were to win the primaries and you put him up against a guy like J.D. Vance, I think Stephen A. Smith's going to, not to be mean, wipe the floor with him.
We'll see what happens. You might be right.
I'm just saying, I don't agree with a lot of his sports takes. I'm a big Richard Sherman guy. I love his sports takes. But I'm just telling you, this guy can talk about politics. He kind of isn't your conventional, That's just my take.
Cool.
Thanks for the hat, though.
Thanks, man. All right, any disagreements? Yeah.
All right, I wrote this all up. So me personally, I'm hesitant in believing that the future of America socially will ever become better because of extreme politics. So there's too much hostility between both political parties, each one thinking that one is evil and the other isn't. Where am I? The clashing has just become too much. And I want to get back to a time in America where people disagree with a handshake, not by cussing each other out and walking away. So I guess my question would be, as a coming generation of Americans, how do you feel, how do we go about healing ourselves to just becoming accepting of each other's political disagreements rather than grouping together with only the people we agree with and shunning those who don't?
This is exactly how we do it. We have open mic discussions on college campuses and let anybody come up, see where we agree or disagree. That is how we heal our land.
Well, I just mean socially, like, other than just what you do, I guess, what can I do and what can I encourage
Find someone
my
who you
friends to do?
disagree with actively and try to look at them as a human being first and someone you disagree with second.
Because me personally, I'm kind of scared to share my political beliefs with some of my friends because I fear I might lose that friendship.
I get it. Well, they're not your friend then if you're going to lose the friendship over politics.
Fair
So,
enough.
thank you very much.
Hey, could I get like 2 hats?
Just
two
one.
Signed,
Thank
can
you.
I get it signed?
Yes. Oh, is that a violin or a cello?
Yeah, cello, violin, sorry.
Okay. Yes, come right up. Sorry, you have to make sure it's not a weapon or something. So I'm sure it's just a cello or violin or whatever. Yeah. Last question here. Yep.
Okay, so for context, I'm a devoted Catholic, so I respect you in that matter. But I feel like, and I also have a verse, if that's okay. So Mark 3:24-25 says, if a kingdom is divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house is divided against itself, that house will not be able to stand. So I'm not a political person. And I feel like there's so much division here, and there's so much hate. So my question is, with the rise of political tension, is this turning Americans away from God?
It is. I think the way we solve our political tension is we have to try to point people to Jesus.
Yes.
And Jesus is the great healer of all of our divides. I will say that Jesus did say equally, I did not come to unite the world, but I came to divide the world. It's a very difficult teaching to kind of internalize. The truth sometimes can divide, but we must always bring people back to our Lord Jesus Christ. That's the most important message I have for you today, especially going through this Advent and Easter season, that there's a God who loves you. The gospel in 4 words is Jesus took my place. In 3 words, it is him for me. In 2 words, it's substitutionary atonement. And 1 word, it's grace. You do not earn a place in heaven. You do not do good things to go to heaven. It's by grace. God gave you a gift. He lived a perfect life. He sent his son on a rescue mission, who then showed us how to live, died the most cruel death in the history of man, to then rise on the 3rd day so that we can live forever and pay off our sins. Thank you so much. With that, everybody, that was a great event. Thanks so much.